Hey all, Andrew Stevens here. You probably don't know me, but who I am is much less important than the message that I have today. Something that just kind of came onto my heart in light of some recent events going on, and I just wanted to share my stance on it. I am going to be actually reading off of the document that I wrote because as a writer, it's much easier to convey my true emotions through my writing than just speaking out loud. So that is why I will not be looking directly at you. This is actually my first time really showing my face on social media in a wider format other than my picture on my profiles. I've been apprehensive about doing it for some time, and I have some insecurities about myself that are silly, but things I'm still working through. However, recent events have dictated that I make my stance clear and that you see my face and my emotions while I'm doing it. As a soon-to-be debut author, I have been involved in the book community for a few years now, as I've gotten back into a love of reading and started my own writing journey. As such, I've met a lot of amazing people in this space, including a handful of content creators who promote books. While there are so many amazing content creators out there in this space, it's hard to support all of them, so I've focused my attention on a select few who I've resonated with the most. One of those people was Daniel Green. If you're a part of this community, it's likely you've heard of him. If not, I'll just say he's probably one of the most influential booktubers in this space. I'm not here to cover the details of what's going on surrounding him. You can find those out for yourself. If you're willing to handle the raw, deeply troubling details shared by YouTuber Naomi King about their sexual assault, then I encourage you to watch it. And if it resonates with you, show your support for their bravery. The book community has generally been an absolutely amazing space, and I'm so glad that I've become just a small part of it in the last few years. However, as amazing as it is, it's not without its own troubles. Some of those troubles are just authors being silly and unprofessional, and those sorts of things happen in every community. But lately we've had some heavy news in our space. I'm sure most of you have heard about the stories surrounding Neil Gaiman. Sadly, those stories are not terribly far off from what may have happened with Daniel. Again, I'm not here to discuss either of those in specifics. What I am here to do as a future author in this space is voice my support for all victims of sexual assault, harassment, trafficking, and really any crime. And while I do not condone violence of any sort, I think that we can all agree there's a special place in hell for people who violate the basic social and moral codes of sexual consent. Consent is not an unwillingness to say no. Consent is not under the influence. Consent is not just a minor resistance or the absence of 100% clear statements or actions against a sexual act. If it's still not clear what consent is, then I encourage those confused to look up the video titled T-Consent. It puts consent in terms that even the dullest minds should be able to comprehend. I get that sometimes life is not as black and white as we'd like. I get sometimes the lines are blurred. But if you don't have absolutely clear consent that what you're doing is wanted, then don't. Just don't. We have a problem in our world of entitlement. We have a problem with people thinking they can do whatever they want without repercussions. We have a problem with people believing their wants and desires are more important than someone else's, than everyone else's. I do not think that this is the majority of people, but it's way more than it should be. It is in all our nature to be greedy and focus on ourselves. That's an inherent human quality that we all have. And sometimes it's needed. Sometimes we do need to focus on ourselves and take care of ourselves. But that in no way excuses taking away another person's inherent right to decide what happens to their body, which includes the mind. Violating the boundaries of both physical and mental desires for someone else is never okay. This includes even speaking in a manner to someone in a way or using words that are unwelcome. I could go on for a long time on this, but I think I've made the main point that I intended to make. The last thing I will just add is that, as a member of this amazing book community, I will fight for what is right. I will fight for what is just. If you violate the sanctity of one of our own, you violate the sanctity of this community. And if you're one who's committing these types of things from within our community, you are no longer welcome here. I, for one, will not stand for it, but I know there are countless others who feel the same. As a future author in this space, you can trust I will not tolerate this and any similar behaviors. Before I even share my writing with the world, I want everyone to know where I stand and how strongly I feel about this topic. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings. If we can't connect and support each other on a person-to-person level, then what are we even doing? Thanks for taking a few minutes to listen to this Nobody rant. I hope it speaks to at least a few of you. And if you're a victim of this kind of behavior, you are not alone. You are seen, you are loved, and you are welcome in this space. And if there's any way we can help you find healing, don't be afraid to reach out. Thank you.